Joe Siracusa. He joins us from Melbourne. He's a professor of security and diplomacy at Curtin University. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the program. Now, these votes won't have an impact on Biden taking office. So just walk us through the thought behind why these Republican politicians are making this move.
Look, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Look, the move is very important. It's sort of a loyalty test for Donald Trump as the Republican Party goes forward. Look, the results won't have a lot of practical significance, but it will divide the Republican Party for years to come. Those who support the presidents and those who not, as well as the people in the House of Representatives. So it's a big deal. And keep in mind that this challenge takes place at the same time that there is a mob, an army in the street of Trump supporters arguing that the election was stolen from him. It comes out one day after the Senate runoff races in Georgia, determining who will control the Senate, judiciary appointments, and cabinet appointments and the like. So it's a tumultuous time coming up in Washington, and Cruz knows what he's doing. It's very calculated on his part. He knows what he's doing. Now, McConnell doesn't want any of this because he's led the charge away from the president in leading the veto against the president's objections to the defense bill. So McConnell would like all this to go away, and Senator Cruz isn't going to let McConnell off. At the end of the day, every member of Congress, every member of the Senate and the House will have declared for or against the decision to accept the electors' votes and determining for the next 2 to 4 years who's on President Trump's side and who's not. So it's a wonderful roll call. It's going to tell us what the future is about, and we should be watching it carefully.
Right, and it seems like these politicians are trying to use every chance they get to prove their loyalty to Trump. But in the end of the day, they're going to be working with the Biden administration. How is that going to work out for them?
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to torture the Biden administration. Look, American Congress, American politics has been in a logjam for 20 years. It's been gridlocked there. That's why Trump got elected. That's why Barack Obama got elected. It isn't going to be any better. Now, a lot of people say this is a very sad day for democracy and that these people are besmirching the election and all the rest of it. I think the founding fathers, particularly James Madison, who wrote the Constitution, would be delighted at the tug of war going on. This is exactly what he intended, for American democratic forces to fight it out on the floor of the Senate and the House rather than go into civil war themselves. So I think it's a wonderful demonstration of American democracy at work. It's not a failure, as some people would like to point out. It shows American democracy at work, and it shows what people can do. Sure, it looks like a futile thing to try to stop this, but at the same time, Senator Cruz and the House of Representatives has forced every Republican to state for the future where he or she stands with relation to Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign bid.
That brings me
side.
Right. That brings
Go
me
ahead.
to my next question, because there's also a message being sent out to the general public here who support Trump to not lose their trust and hope in him. Do you think this is all part of a bigger plan for the 2024 presidential election?
Oh, right now, God willing, and if Trump's health stays in place, he will be running in 2024. He's going to claim that the election was stolen and that he is a legitimate heir to the presidency. He'll become the 47th president. Oh, he's very much determined to leave Washington with the narrative that the election has been stolen. So a lot of what Trump is doing right now is about branding and messaging his public. Keep in mind, 90% of registered Republicans believe that the president's election was stolen. So they're in place. They're on side. A lot of Americans, maybe 50%, think there's something wrong. I think about 18 million people came out of the woodwork to vote in the last election. Whether you can prove it or not is another story, of course. But the president is positioning himself for a 2024 run, and he's got everybody believing that there was something wrong. And if there's something wrong, that makes Joe Biden illegitimate. That makes him the possessor of a stolen election, and also prepares the image of the president was stabbed in the back. And we all know historically how important that political analogy is.
Right. All right. Professor Joe Siracusa, thank you so much for joining us on the program. It was a pleasure having you.